Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel, James here as ever, for today's very important ACCA video all about how to pass your upcoming taxation, that's the F6 paper, and I'm going to take you through where all of the free resources are online directly on ACCA's website that if I had to sit this exam tomorrow, next week, next month, these are the places that I would be going to and have the actual assets on ACCA's website that are going to produce for you the most value. My name is James. If this is the first time you've clicked on one of my videos or visited my channel for the first time, but you know, where have you been? Good grief. But my ACCA channel is set up specifically for ACCA students around the world. I'm an ACCA qualified member from the UK and tutor. It's all 100% student led, which has led to this video because I posted out on my Instagram account this poll the other day, which, you know, I was just there going, you know, I could do an F6 video or an SBL. It was 50-50, and then one of my subscribers got in touch and, Aaron, I know you're watching out there, I'll put it up here for you, it's all good. This video is dedicated to you, my friend. I will be sending you the link to this video once it's uploaded. This is definitely going to help you out with your upcoming F6 paper, along with all of my other subscribers and people who follow me on all the social media networks, because I know it's such a tough paper. As I said, if you are new to visiting my channel, make sure you subscribe, the button will be at the bottom, and feel free to give this video a massive like and comment below of any other videos you'd like me to do, whether that's another F6 video or any other ones you'd like me to cover as well, because it's 100% student led, and Aaron's probably watching this going, oh my word, I didn't think he'd actually get back to me. You know, would I let you down? But without any further ado, I'm going to head over to the main screen now. I'm going to show you what it's going to be like on ACCA's website. Get your pen and paper ready, and if you know any F6 students who have got this exam coming up, make sure you send this video over to them. It is definitely going to help. So on 3 and 2 and 1. Okay guys, so this is the main screen that you need to have up on your computer. What I've done for you in the description of this video below, I put the link, click it, it's going to take you directly there. I'm on the side here, all the important information's on the right. It's definitely going to help you. I'm going to take you through it one by one. Make sure you stay to the end as well, because there is some information and tips from the external examining team where they actually tell you in some of the actual answers on the ACCA website what is going to come up on the exam, especially in section C. So I'm going to show you that along with 4 really key PDFs that are going to help you to pass. This is what I'd be downloading, going away, putting in my revision notes, all free on ACCA's website. And this is where it's definitely going to help you to pass, because the first thing for you to get jotted down in your notes is, as you can see at the bottom, and quite worryingly, is that 1 in 2 will unfortunately fail this exam. Or, on a more positive note, as we like to be on the channel, 1 in 2 will pass this exam. By going through these key documents that you'll see on the screen, this is definitely going to help you achieve that. This is what I'd be doing if I was in your shoes and I've got to sit the taxation, the F6 paper, tomorrow, next month, next week, whatever it may be. The tips in this video, the free resources are going to help. It could be the difference between getting that 50 plus, or we don't even think about it on this channel, but a 40 odd or whatever it may be. But we don't even want to come on to that. Aim for 100, achieve 50 plus. There you go. But let's have a look straight the way on here. So these are all the free exam resources available on ACCA's website that you can go through yourself in your own time. I'm going to walk and talk you through now. So first one, pen and paper at the ready on here. We're going into the sort of introduction. So this nicely gives you an overview. There's a little video on there from ACCA. You can watch that in your own time. But the key thing not to overlook is this document on here. So taxation essentials in one place, or in one page, James, should we say. read the website carefully, James. But where is this all coming from? This is the document on here. Really, really helpful. Puts it all into one place for you. Definitely, if you get this printed out, put it as your background, whatever it may be. Got a nice overview, as you can see on the side there, and it breaks it down. We've got income tax, national insurance, chargeable gains, inheritance tax, value added tax, and the corporation tax. What I used to do when studying taxation for ACCA is I used to have a blank sheet for every key topic area, so the 6 that we've gone through on there. And when I've gone through a past paper question and I've not known an information or a nugget of information about that or a little query, you should just jot it down on that blank piece of paper. It's only going to help you out so that when you come back to look at this, maybe the night before, you've got all the different areas you didn't know, but now they're collated into one nice area. And I don't think ACCA will have that in their steps for success, a blank piece of paper, write down what you didn't know, but trust me, it does work. We've also got the key resources down here for the Finance Acts, the External Examiner's Approach, which we're going to be coming on to. But then we've got the breakdown here of Section A, Section B and Section C. Now, really for me on here, the best way to approach this is that at the start of the exam, you have a look through all the 3 different sections, then pick out the question where you go, yes, I can do the best on this style of question. Whether you're a particular income tax fan or inheritance tax fan, go for that one straight away, build up some momentum in your actual examination day, and then go through it staying really, really consistent to time. So make sure you're doing it, go through all the marks, answer all the questions. I have some people who leave me comments online just say, you know, James, I answered 70% of the exam very well. I was going, well, hang on, you can only achieve 70 marks and we've got to hit 50. Why don't we've got to attempt 100 of the marks to hit 50. So yes, make sure you're going through it, stay really strict to time on this. So let me take you back onto the ACCA website now on here. So as you can see, that's a nice introduction. And then you've got planning your study. So I've already alluded to the time management, especially for tax, where you're going to have calculations and computations. And then you've also got to describe what's happening with other different forms of questions on there. So they've got different aspects on here about sort of booking and getting to know the exam, all this sort of jazz. So I'm just going to leave it on there for you. You've got the sort of study planner template on there, PDF. Make the most of it. Again, another underrated free resource. Coming on to more sort of areas that are going to run some real content value, especially if you've got the taxation exam, is having a look at the examining team's guidance. So there's a nice little video on there from ACCA. From having a look through it on the F6 examining team, they highlight on the broad areas, which I'm going to come on to in the study guide, so hold on with me. You have to know, especially for Section A and Section B, those broad topics very, very well. They can test absolutely any of them, plus they put you under a bit of time pressure, and it is all applied to a scenario. So one key note to actually get jotted down, which a lot of students fall into the trap of, and the external mentions it quite a lot, where sometimes they try and apply the tax to their own life. Whereas what it's trying to get done in this exam is to say, well, look, if you're actually a tax advisor, what would you be saying to one of your clients in that situation? And once you start to picture it like that, so maybe you're watching this video and you work fully in audit and you've never seen much tax before, that's a really good way to actually separate yourself, apply it to a client, and then this is where you're going to pick up on more marks. So just scroll down to here, and it's got the UK one on here, which I'm presuming the majority of people will do, but the actual the resources on this video are, if you're doing it in Malaysia or China or anything on those lines, all the free resources are in the exact same place. So I'm going to show you where the past papers are. That is going to help you out. I'm going to walk and talk you through. But this is the examiner's approach to tax for the UK. And again, what we've got on there, well, we've got going through the examiner's report. So you've got everything on here from 2020, nice and easy on there. We're going to be coming on to the study guide in a moment. And also on here, we have got the examinable documents, all key PDFs that you've got to get jotted down. Then we've got the external examiner's approach. So nice and easy on here. And this is where it just breaks it down for you. Section A, Section B, and Section C. Now, the first key things to get jotted down on here, Section A and Section B, are from the variety of the actual syllabus. So they could pull out little bits on value-added tax, income tax, whatever it may be. But, there is a giveaway on here in Section C. How about this? Just take a moment, get it jotted down. So Section C comprises of one 10-mark question and two 15-mark questions. This is where, from the external examiner's report, students fail this exam. But they don't read this bit. The two 15-mark questions will focus on income tax, syllabus area B, and corporation tax, syllabus area E. So they're telling you there 30 out of the 100 marks are going to be based on income tax and corporation tax. So if you're looking at this, if you've got the exam tomorrow, my words of wisdom are head over to income tax, head over to corporation tax now. But hold your horses. Questions in section C are predominantly computational, so you've got to do a bit of calculations on there. Although each question may contain written elements, okay, unlike sections A and B, which are auto-marked. Now, get this jotted down because it is mentioned in the external examiner's notes. Section A and section B, you've got to have an attempt at it first of all, and then in your exam time strategy, give yourself a break, have some water, whatever it may be, few deep breaths, and then go back to it with a clear mind, because silly mistakes are made through section A and section B that are highly, highly avoidable. Because the students actually demonstrate in section C their knowledge, but when they do it for the questions, they don't understand them fully what is going on. So make sure you double check. If you actually review section A and section B, get your time strategy effectively managed, and you have a second attempt rereading the question, understanding it more thoroughly, you'll pick up on more mistakes and you're going to get more marks. That would be what I'd do if I was in your situation and I've got to sit the taxation exam. So, and finally on here, making sure all workings are clearly shown. This is another area, especially in the computer-based exam, where students throw away marks. Imagine there's a bin at the front of the exam, you're just throwing them in there because they are not written clearly enough. And as you go further and further down here, you've got income tax, chargeable gains, inheritance tax. These are your checklists to go through them one by one to check off that you are aware of the 7-year principle. You are aware of the payment of inheritance tax. You are aware of the capital allowances in corporation tax. If you can tick off each of those going into the exam, knowing all of those various areas, you are going to get a severe advantage. Trust me on that. So that's the examiner's approach to F6, and I can hear you already going, this is quite a helpful video, James. I mean, I wasn't aware of this. Well, there is still more to come. So make sure you get this jotted down, because the syllabus area on here, and again, it doesn't matter what year you're watching this video, the link will always be updated on here. Just pick out the actual exam you're doing. So Cyprus, Pakistan, Hungary, Russia, whatever it may be. I'm going to go to the UK down here. And it's going to pull up the most recent version that's going to be applicable to you. So you've got March 2021, June, and then you've got March on there. So the one I pulled up on here for the actual syllabus guide is from June 2021 to March 2022. Now, the key thing, if you're planning on doing the taxation exam, the reason why I wanted to highlight this is because when you actually decide to do the exam will really, really benefit you by sitting the actual June one if you're going to try and plan it. The reason for that is if you do the March exam, as you can see on here, they have different syllabuses. It's because the different rates change, or the different allowances change, or the thresholds change. So the worst case scenario could be that you might, unfortunately, even though I don't want to mention it, but you know, for the benefit of this video, if you were to fail the March exam and you had to resit, well, by resitting in June, you're going to have different thresholds, different percentages, potentially new rules on there as well. So this is really, really key that if I was in your shoes and I've got flexibility on it, I'd be trying to plan to do the taxation exam in June, so that if I was to fail, then at least I've got a chance and it's going to be exactly the same. Now, why is this important? Well, if you go down to the bottom of the actual syllabus change, this has got the actual summary of the changes. So say, for example, if you were to fail in March and then you had to resit in June, these are all the different updates that you need to be aware of, from the syllabus content to the different subject areas. These are all the little things that change, plus on top of that, the different rates and potential percentages. Now, there is one other key area in this, if I had to sit the exam, I'd definitely be paying attention to. Look at that, zoom straight through. And this is the syllabus in section 10 on here. And what this does is, remember how I mentioned those little blank pieces of paper? So UK tax system on there would be one, inheritance tax another, corporation tax. And this is a little checklist to go through at least a week before the exam, I would say, just to say, look, am I confident on capital gains tax to computate it? Again, potentially coming up in different areas, payment of inheritance tax. And then if you scroll down a bit further on the document, keep on going down, it's got it in more detail for you. So really go through it, test it through, and that is going to pay dividends for you. A really underused tool. And if you go through it, it's got loads of other different bits and bobs and tips on there, guides from the examination assessment, approaches to the syllabus, and different sort of structures on there as well. All going to help you, and all free as well. So go check it out. That's a really good, helpful resource in my opinion. I would definitely be using. So let's get back onto it on here. Now, I mentioned about March and June and those updates on there. Well, this is where if you unfortunately fail in March and you have to resit in June, or to be honest, if you're doing any exam paper, this is an absolute gem to actually take you through it. So go down to UK or whichever one you're doing again, come onto it on here, again just pick out the one that you've got to do, and it's going to pull you up to the examinable documents. Make sure you've got it for the right session, as we said, and pull it down. And this is where it's so key that you pick up on the right one you've got to do, because look on here, we've got the different dividend rates, you've got the actual personal allowances, and you've got a nice little tick box on the side here for tax to say, what could you possibly be tested on? And if I was in your shoes, I'd go through them one by one just to say, yes, I know which area it would be covered in, how it would apply to different questions. So you've got car benefits, ISAs on there, mileage, various different things. And it's almost a nice little checklist to say, look, I'm confident on this area, I'm confident on inheritance tax. Yes, I've heard about that. Yes, I've done a past question on capital gains tax. I know how to lay it out. National insurance rates. This is so underrated for me. It's got everything all in one place, and it makes your life so much easier. Make your life easier, because I know this exam has a lot of various different aspects to it. So back onto back onto the main screen. If you need any other support, look, you've got the maths and English language support on there, and this can be really helpful with tax, because I know they have some funny different words on there that they like to try and integrate into some kind of questions. So have a look on there. I'm going to focus on more sort of where you're going to get the biggest added value, and that comes down here to actual question practice and what the external examiner says. So if you have a look on here, you've got question practice on here for the UK. So this is for the computer-based examination. I couldn't believe it when I clicked on this. You've got a specimen exam on there, 1, 2 and 3. It will launch the site for you. And this is going to help, because this is what I'd be doing first thing in the morning. Sit down, cup of coffee, whatever it may be, fully focused. And another good tip for a tax exam, doing them online or any ACCA exam, only have the tab open for the exam. Nothing else, no football or weather or anything on those lines. Cancel all the notifications on here, focus on it, because I know how distracting these various aspects can be. But again, free exam resource on there, make the most of it. It's to your advantage to sit down there and just understand why you're doing it. Effective learning and revision, have a look at some of the other videos I've done on the channel. That's going to help you out there 100%. Now, external examiner's report. Again, you've got on your different versions on here, so Czech Republic, Botswana, Poland, look at all this. And we've got the external examiner's report, September, December, March, whatever it may be. But the key technique that I would be doing, if I was in your shoes, where you're going to get the most amount of knowledge and learning out of it, is I would first of all go away and attempt that past paper. And this is where you've just got to be careful on the different rates, but you can have a go at older papers, but just understand that the rates and the percentages may be different, but the actual format and the understanding of the questions is the main added value there. But undertake the most recent papers first of all and work back. That's the first thing to do. Attempt the question, then go through the answers, and then go through the external examiner's report. Why do I say this? Well, what they take you through is a document like this with a nice happy lady on the front, which I'm sure she's been doing lots and lots of tax, smiling away like that. But it's got on here all of the actual questions with the answers as well, so that you go through it, attempt, and then try to work out, why did I pick that answer? Or how did I come to that actual result? Because it gives you the correct answer and then the reason for it as well. So that is where the main added value is, in the little paragraphs like that, under it all, to say, yes, I understand the core concepts and how it is applied to that given scenario. And as you can see on here, for me just scrolling through for you, you've got loads and loads of questions, national insurance on there. What else have we got? We've got, more VAT on there as well. So just go through it, attempt the questions, review the answers, then the external examiner's report. That will help you so much. And then any little nuggets of information you didn't particularly understand, pop it down on those clear blank sheets, whether that's corporation tax, income tax, whatever it may be. And you are going to progress so much as a result. So that is another excellent free exam tip resource on there. We've got more question practice for you. I'm not going to go into too much great detail on there, but again, you've got different versions all the way down for the different countries that you may be sitting this in. So again, go check it out. You've got more question practice on there, same approach as well. But the next thing on here, the technical articles, are very, very helpful and potentially examinable. So they've got the tax for the UK on here. Now, this will be really helpful if you're sitting the tax exam and you don't work in tax. So when I was studying with other ACCA students in class, we used to have people who come who worked in audit full-time. They'd never done any tax. It just got sent off to someone else. Whereas myself, I did corporation tax computations, income tax computations all the time. So this really helped. I know lots of students who I studied with, they used to go through the different acts, which again are examinable, comes up, and it's in the study guide. And it's going to really help you understand how the system works, how you need to actually implement it to think about the client scenario, and then applying all those facts and figures. And you've got different parts on here, from chargeable gains, benefits, groups, skills, again the Finance Act, really helpful, and the external examiner can test these areas on top of that. Just make sure it's relevant for the right tax year that you're doing the exam for, and that is going to benefit you long term. Trust me on that. You'll be reading these articles for years to come. It'll be all right. It's all good fun. But that's a really good tip for someone who especially doesn't work in tax or have much exposure to it. So I've touched on the actual technical articles. We then come on to the past papers and the specimen exams. So you've got on here specimen exams on there. You've got everything from June to December. I'm not going to run you through it, but look, you've got South Africa, Singapore. Just click on UK and you've got it on there. It's going to launch the website. You can go through it, do it to time, get familiar. And the external examiner's report, they specifically mention that students fail this exam because they don't have enough computer-based examination practice. So you've heard my warning. I've given you the link. I can't do anything else. Give it a whirl. Let me know how you get on. It is going to help you. Jot down the bits you didn't know. Come back to it in your notes later on. And trust me, that is definitely going to help you out. And you've got constructive responses on there, questions. The resources are abundant. You could spend weeks on here. But then finally, we've got the past paper questions, as you can see. And simply same as ever, whether you're Hong Kong, Romania, I'm just going to go UK. And this is where, as we said with the external examiner's report, head on to here first, do the questions, as we said, there they are, do the questions, 2020, review the answers, then go to the external examiner's report, understand why it was the case and where people went wrong on it. And trust me, when you go through these, you're going to pick up on so many more marks, and that is going to push you into the 1 and 2 that will pass this exam. Trust me on it. This is what I'd be doing if I was in your situation and scenario. Now, coming on to the final bits on here, we've got the sort of facts and questions. You've got the specimen papers. I'm just going to take you through on here because if we go on to, I'll go on to the UK one on here. They've highlighted it on again. So these are the sort of general sort of questions. How should they revise? Past papers, inheritance tax. These are all various other questions on here. that other ACCA students around the world have been asking. I just want to highlight for you the first one on here, that they've also put it on here again, that Section C will be predominantly computational on there, but you know now, income tax on there and corporation tax. That is definitely going to help you. But overall, with a 1 in 2 that passed this exam, I think from you watching this video, the main thing is that you've got to get down, I am going to take action. You can watch videos on my channel all you like, but I can, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But by watching this video, attempting these past paper questions, you are going to be in one of the 51% going forward that will pass this exam. Right, let's head back to the main screen. 3, 2, 1. Wow, if I was in your shoes, those would be the free resources that I would definitely be taking advantage of, all directly available on ACCA's website for free. What I've also done for you as well is in the description to this video below, I've put in all the links for all of the correct dated books, resources, everything that's going to help you to pass this upcoming examination, all from my experience and my recommendations on there as well. Well, the last thing I can say is, Aaron, I'm sure you're still watching now, so best of luck with your upcoming taxation examination. If you have found this video helpful, again, feel free to give it a massive like so more ACCA students can see this video. Share it with anyone who you know has got this exam, because if you've got to this part of the video, you know, oh my word, there's a lot of value in those free resources. And if you've got any other examinations coming up, just leave a comment at the bottom of what you thought of it, or what other examination, maybe resources you'd like me to analyse for different exams. As you know from the channel, we do all of them on here. Well, without any further ado, because you've got to get cracking now onto all these free resources, best of luck with your upcoming examination. And what I've done for you as well at the end of this video, I've put some more resources on the side here that are going to help you pass. But as always on that bombshell, I'll see you next time. Cheers!